Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hebrew Jamaican Kool-Aid back again with another video, and I wanted to talk about the prophet Elisha, right? The prophet Elisha. And the reason why I want to talk about the prophet Elisha is because as I'm rereading Second Kings, and I'm no longer just like browsing through, I'm no longer just reading not to understand. I'm actually reading to understand and to see these events in time and what was happening when these prophets were around. I think it's very important that we, as a people of the chosen people of the Most High, get back to reading to understand what was going on and why the prophets were so important. Because one of the main reasons that you have to realize is that the prophets kept our people on the straight and narrow when we got off track. And believe you and me, just as how we're off track many times in this day and age, we were off track back then as well. We are a hard-headed, stiff-necked people. We are. And that's why we are the people of the Most High. If you look at what we would consider to be black people today, whether it's Caribbean people, whether if it's black American people, whether if it's other people that came out of the transatlantic slave trade, or other people that are scattered around the world as black people, we are hard-headed and stiff-necked, especially even when it comes to dealing with each other. We're very hard-headed when dealing with each other and very stiff-necked when we're dealing with each other. We deal with each other very, very incorrectly. And then we look and we complain about everybody else around us, how everybody else treats each other, and compare ourselves to how we treat each other. But yet still we refuse to change. We complain about how we're not good to each other, but we don't change and we don't do any better. And then we complain about how is that they made us this way and stuff like that. We can people, listen to me. We can no longer go around with this whole thing about how is the white man make we do this and the white man make we do that, when we now have the full autonomy and agency and decision and choices of how we can treat each other, and still choose to treat each other in a manner that is very, very nasty and disgusting. All right, so moving back up to Elisha, going back to the topic of Elisha, I don't think a lot of us really and truly understood. I do not think a lot of us really and truly understood the spirit of the Most High that was resting on Elisha. Before Eliyahu, who we call Elijah, left the plains of existence, he said, if you see me as I am taken from you, then you will get what you ask for. What is it that Elisha asked for? Elisha asked for a double portion of the spirit of Yahuwah that was resting on Eliyahu, which is who we call Elijah, right? This is why he said this is a hard thing. But if you watch me as I am taken from you, then it will be so. But if you don't see when I'm taken away from you, then it won't be so. You understand? There's a reason why, right? I believe that there's a reason why he said that you need to be able to see when I'm being taken away from you, so that you and then it will be given unto you. The reason being is this, is for his faith in Yahuwah to be cemented. Because when he sees what happened to Eliyahu being taken up in a chariot, right? He's now understanding the power of Yahuwah to remove people from the face of the earth as he sees fit. He now sees something that is inexplainable and that him can't explain to nobody else. And even if him explain it, they won't grasp the concept, nor will they believe him about it. But he's seen it and he believes it. So he know his faith is now cemented in the power of Yahuwah. right? And you know, he picks up the mantle. I don't know what a mantle is. I'm going to have to look it up. People say it's in court and things like that. So he picks up the mantle of Eliyahu, and picking up the mantle of Eliyahu, he says, where is the Elohim of Eliyahu? And then, you know, that was the first power that was shown unto him was when the river divided. You understand? And he walked across the river, right? But that wasn't like the full power. Like reading, I'm understanding that the man really and truly got a double portion of the spirit of the Most High Yahuwah. You see me? So basically Elisha now, him basically, you know, going around the place and him walking, and you have some disrespectful children. As usual, you have children that are disrespectful now. You understand? Look at our kids, how them behave more time. Right? Children in general are like that. Some children, you can't talk to them too hard, because if you talk to them too hard, their parents come out and say, why are you talking to my child like that, even though your child was disrespectful? So these children disrespect Elisha and say, go up thou bald head, go up thou bald. So they're basically disrespecting him because he's bald headed, and they're basically, you know, you understand, not showing him the respect that he deserves, and telling him to go about your business, bald head. So Elisha just called down some bears. Listen to me, people. You can go and read that in 2 Kings. Elisha called down bears, and these bears mauled the children. And I believe it's about 40 children were mauled. 40 children. None of them survived. Which means like he was probably walking for a good while. Like for a good 5 minutes walking through the town. And the children, the bunch of children was just disrespecting him, saying things to him. And him just basically say, wait a minute, you know no freaking manners. You need to learn some manners, man. And him just call on the bears, and you know, the bears humble them right into 6 feet under. You see me? So that's not even the rest of it, because I'm going to show you that the double portion continues. Remember, you know, he asked for a double portion of the spirit, you know. So for him to be able to call upon animals to practically maul and humble children, that has to be the power that he asked for. Anyway, a woman approached him, right? And she was like saying, man of Elohim, man of Yah, I need your help. And him said, what happened? She said, well, our husband has passed away, and the man that he owes a debt to is coming to collect my children and put them into bondage, slavery. So he says to her, all right, here what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna go in your house. You're gonna go in your house, and y'all go no, first he said borrow jars. Borrow what you have in your house. She said only 1 jar oil left. He said, alright, go to all your neighbors and borrow all them jars. And he said, don't just borrow one, you know. He said every jar where them have were empty, borrow it. So he's basically telling her, do not limit yourself on what you're asking from your neighbor. So him said, borrow the jars them from your neighbor. When she borrowed the jars them now, she tell him, I borrowed all the jars from my neighbor. What should I do next? Him say, alright, here what y'all go do next now. You see me? Y'all go go in your house. Y'all go in your house, and y'all go fill up. You can use the 1 jar of oil, and fill up all the jars that are in the house. It will not be empty. That jar will never be empty. You see me? So she go into the house, she take her children in there, she lock up the house, and she filled all the jars with the oil. All the jars in the people. She filled all the jars with the oil. And him say, alright, cool. You see me? Him say, alright, cool. So she basically now she said, alright. She go to thing there. Him say, after she fill it now, she tell him say, you know, she fill all the jars and thing like that, what she must do next. Him say, alright, here's what you're supposed to do. Sell the oil to the debtor and pay off the debt, and use the rest for yourself. I don't think a lot of you people understand just what exactly the man is telling her to do, because he knew, or she knows, and he knows, and the Most High knows that she is in need of finances since her husband has passed away. You see me? So basically when him look upon her and him say, yo, sell the oil, pay off your debt, and keep the rest for yourself. Basically the oil that you need for cooking, doing this, doing that, lamp, whatever it is, you keep that in the house. Whatever excess you have, you sell that too, to keep yourself afloat. You understand me? I say, we don't understand the power of the Most High that was resting on these prophets. The gift of, you know, forbearance that he gave to them in order to tell them their future, like King Ahab and Isabel. Basically when he said that the same area where you basically took the life of Naboth, the same area where him gets stoned and the dog lick up him blood, is the same area they're going to be licking up your blood. So said, so done. You need to understand the power of the Most High, Abba Yahuwah, that rested upon these prophets. I think we're not reading to understand. We're just reading for the sake of the story and all them things there, as if it's a fairy tale. It's not a fairy tale. It's something that actually happened. And things of this magnitude, or even greater, is going to be coming upon the earth. And my joy is going to be fulfilled in knowing that judgment, great judgment, is coming upon this earth, upon the wicked, upon those who oppressed us, upon those who call us names, upon those who think that it's okay to do what they did and justify the evil that they have done for them and their people. So friends and family, I want you to focus on the scriptures. Focus on Elisha. If you get the time, go to 2 Kings and read what Elisha did. Read the things that Elisha did. I'm at verse 6 right now. You understand? And I think I had spoken about Naaman and Gehazi. Basically when Gehazi was cursed throughout his generations to be leprous. And I explained what leprosy was. Leprosy is when your skin is turned white and you have boils too as well. So basically there are some people, some albino people around that their entire generation is probably leprous in nature, or I don't know if that curse has been removed from Gehazi. All right, I don't know if that thing there has been removed from Gehazi, but if it has not been removed, there are some Hebrew people that basically their curse is to basically live a leprous life with that skin tone and with boils and whatever it is. Anyway, people, tell me what you think. I think Elisha the prophet was a very powerful prophet. As I'm reading his exploits, I'm reading his, what he did, what he's going through, you understand? And I think that it's something that we should basically look at to understand the power of the Most High Yahuwah that rested on the prophets. All praises be to Abba Yahuwah, Father Yahuwah, the Aleph and the Tau. Anyway, people, Hebrew Jamaican Kool-Aid, enough love and respect, peace. I am out, my friends.